It's nearly 24 minutes past 7. It's breakfast on BBC Radio Kent with John and Maggie. We're going to review the papers now. Russell Wheldon from the Goudhurst travel operator Belle France is with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Belle France? Do you say France or France?
In the Goudhurst dialect, we say France.
La Belle France, I feel I should say. So tell us what does the company actually do?
Well, Belle France, holidays to France, obviously. Cycling holidays, walking holidays, luxury barge
Sounds
holidays.
right up my street, doesn't it?
John, it's tailor-made for you. Tailor-made for you.
Yes,
the caveat would probably be these are easygoing holidays.
Yeah, I mean, John likes to cycle about 100 miles a day.
No, I don't. Not every day.
He's a serious cyclist, but this is... he would enjoy this. It's food and wine, lovely picturesque countryside, snooze under a tree on the way.
And tell us, Russell, are you being affected at all at the moment by what's happening with all the delays?
We are to an extent. I mean, anybody who's travelling to France, whether they're operating holidays or holiday makers, they will be affected. There's really nothing anybody can do at this stage other than wait for the French authorities to sort this out. We're working behind the scenes to switch alterations to travel plans, switch operators, switch routes. But people need to leave plenty of time.
I'm going to Greece next week. When shall I buy my euros, do you think?
Take a lot of euros.
I thought I was going to buy them yesterday. I thought I'd just wait to see what happened with Greece overnight. I think I might get a better deal this morning than I would have got yesterday.
I think take a lot of pockets with a lot of euros in them.
Yeah, money belts I think you'll need probably.
Indeed, yeah.
Your first story, Russell, this morning is in the Mirror. They're talking about John Noakes in the Mirror this morning.
Absolutely. For me, as a 50-something-year-old man, this is...
and me, yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
John. We're right here. This is John Noakes. It's hark straight back to my childhood, and this is not how I imagined it would be. John Noakes found in a bad way, it says here. He'd been missing for 9 hours in the Mallorcan heat wave, and thankfully he's all safe and well now. But
I understand he's suffering from Alzheimer's.
Yes, which again I hadn't realised. But for me, he was always that sparky young chap.
What do you think of the photograph in the Mirror? I'm just interested to see what your opinion is of them using a photograph of him, because he's on a stretcher, isn't he?
They've used a picture of him on a backboard or something. They call it like a stretcher, and he looks in a poorly state.
I'm not too sure about the Mirror using that picture this morning.
No, I know you said earlier.
It kind of upset me a little bit, to be honest.
They've blocked his face out, so you can't see it because it's pixelated, but we all know it's John Noakes.
Yeah, I know, so it doesn't really seem to make an awful lot of sense.
OK, your next story is in The Independent. Of course, the Women's World Cup semi-final. They play Japan tonight, England do, and I'm just wondering, I mean, a lot of the papers are getting behind the team now, but can you imagine if this was the men team? The flags will be out, there'll be a national holiday declared.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the lovely thing about this is, A, they're doing very well, of course, but also they seem a great bunch of players, a great bunch of people, good role models. They're in it for the game, and God willing, they'll win tonight, and it'll be capture some sort of zeitgeist.
Absolutely, and I suppose it's good that it's a heat wave, because maybe lots of people will be able to sleep tonight, so they'll stay up, because the kick-off is at midnight. So yes, best of luck to the women.
We've seen this before with other players in other sports.
But I suppose the way they play the game and the sort of supporters they attract, it is harking back to a bygone era.
Absolutely.
And I think it's actually very good for football to see.
Absolutely.
It brings back the beautiful game a bit, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think the days of it being viewed as a second-class sport somehow is long gone, actually.
Long gone,
thankfully.
Staying with The Independent, you found a story in there about the EU ending the rip-off phone charges.
That's right. Well, this is topical for many travellers. Anybody who's taking their mobile devices with them, phone calls, social media, browsing, certainly people looking at if they're self-driving holidays, going through the tunnel or the ferries, they're wanting to plan routes and use mapping and so on. It's all costing money.
It's so expensive.
So this has been on the cards for a long time. I think it's been tapered out to finish the charges, or the excess charges, to finish by 2017. But good news for all travellers. I think it's in the paper here. It says there'll be savings up to £61 per holiday at current rates. So
that's really good.
That's on average.
My phone provider does a pretty good deal. You pay £3 a day, and you can use your English data charges and your phone calls. So that's all you pay.
Sure. But if you go on a 10-day holiday, that's still 30 quid.
It is still 30 quid, but it's better than 100
I'm sure
quid
you can
data roaming.
I'm sure you can probably go over that as well.
It's the uncertainty, I think.
I always have this impression, actually, when we talk about phone charges, that in 20 years' time, even, or 30 years' time, that kids will be like, what? You used to pay to use your... What do you mean? Because it will just be Wi-Fi. Everything will be Wi-Fi. You know, I mean, you go into parts of central London right now and you just pick up a Wi-Fi signal signal, you're not using your 3G, you're not paying for anything.
The Times is your last story. This is Italian doctors ordered to write prescriptions in capitals. Is this because no one can understand them?
This is obviously, it brings a wry smile to many people's faces, doesn't it? It's kicked off in Italy, where, the same problem applies there as it does here, where we've all read our doctor's descriptions, which mean absolutely nothing to us. We take some tablets and it seems to do us good. In Italy, they've actually formalised this. Italian doctors are now being ordered to write in capital letters. They did a survey. 320,000 errors were recorded in Italian hospitals last year, of which 84% were ascribed,
really?
If that's not a pun, were ascribed to poor handwriting, basically. So I'm imagining the similar sort of...
Do you know, I'm surprised I didn't end up being a doctor looking at my handwriting.
Really?
I've been a very good doctor if bad handwriting is a good
I don't think it's related to... I don't think so, no. But, Russell, thank you very much indeed. Some great stories there. Russell Wheldon from the Gatehouse travel operator Belle France, reviewing today's newspapers for us.
Coming up to 7:30.